All right, I saw this video trending on Instagram, and this video just really ticked me off. But I think it really does a good job in summarizing the state of the dating market. It is just so terrible. Anyways, let me play the video, and then I'm gonna respond and give my 2 cents.
So tired of dating in this generation, bro. Story time. So I had started talking to this girl on Instagram who lives in a different state than me, but she was planning on moving to my state in 2026, so I entertained it. We started talking around November 2025, and we both planned on being out in Houston for the New Year's because we both have family out there. Cool. So I took her out on 2 dates. We went to go eat, and then we went bowling, and the vibes was there. Like, she was funny, like she was cool at the time. Like, everything was going smooth. But most of the time when things start off too good, the inevitable happens. So we both go back to our cities, and after a little bit, we decide that we want to see each other again. And the vibes was right, so I booked her a flight. And I sent it to her and I said, make sure everything looks good, because on Expedia, if you book a flight from Expedia, you only have 24 hours to cancel it. After that 24 hours, you're not getting a refund and you're not getting any partial credit. I made that clear, right? The flight ticket was damn near $500, bro. She looked at it and she told me that everything looks good. And I was like, okay, bet. I booked the flight on January 24th and she was supposed to land on February 5th, which was yesterday. But on Monday of this week, I get a text. The text says, I just booked my nail and wax appointment for the trip, babe. She never called me babe. Can you send me some money so I can get ready to see you? And I'm genuinely confused. So I text her back the next day and I say, like, that's not who I am, respectfully. Like, let me know if that changes anything. And she texts me, yes, it does. Respectfully, you can cancel the flight. Then I asked her, so even though I'm gonna pay for the flight and pay for everything when you get down here for like dates and all that stuff, like, you don't want to see me because I'm not paying for your nails? And she was like, she's taking time off work and making time in her schedule to come see me. Wanting to be taken care of before she travels is the bare minimum. That's what this girl told me. And then after that, I just said, you lame, and that was it. This shit just shows you how unappreciative people are. Like, I paid for your flight. I was paying for everything that you was gonna do when you got down here. I was gonna pick you up from the airport, do everything I was supposed to do. You can't even cover your own nails? Like, were you not gonna come regardless? You're not gonna get your nails done regardless? Like, do you not normally get your nails done? Do you not normally get waxes?
All right, so this good gentleman here, decided to fly a young lady out, hopefully to meet her, get to know her, and then potentially marry her, because that's what I would suggest. Anywho, so he does this, only to his surprise find out that the girl basically is trying to finesse him on some money to get some nails done or some hair done or whatever. This kind of stuff boggles my mind. Like, I'm thinking, like, okay, is it that maybe the young lady didn't quite like the guy and you're just trying to create an excuse to get out of the situation? But let's take two approaches here. Let's assume case one. Case one is she didn't necessarily like the guy, so she really kind of threw that out there as a way to kind of, self-sabotage the relationship or whatever was going on, the situationship. And it proved successful, right? But I don't know why she would do that, because then that could also, potentially harm her reputation as someone that's basically a gold digger, someone that's trying to get money off on dudes or whatever. So I don't really understand why she would take that approach if that was her aim. Now, if her aim or goal was to actually foster and grow this relationship, potentially to something that would be worthy of marriage, then why would you do that? Why would you ask this man for money? Mind you, the man agreed to fly you out. He agreed to pay to fly you out. He agreed to take care of the ticket, agreed to take care of maybe housing, hotel, whatever, transportation, etc., because he's inviting you out to his place, his residence, his city, his town, whatever. So even in doing that, by the way, him doing that is him being more than gracious. That's something that no one has to do because you're an adult. So if you want this relationship as well as a woman, you should also agree to pay to do these things, to fly out, to come see the individual that you supposedly love or have an interest in growing a relationship with. But nevertheless, this man took it upon himself to do that. Here's one thing I always say, like, men love to spend money on the women that they like, that they love. You will spend money on that woman because in doing so, that is a way for you to demonstrate that you are a provider, you are a safe place, you are her security blanket, you are her shelter, you are You are all the things that a man needs to be in her life. And that's why you are doing that. And you're demonstrating that through, again, in his case, paying for airfare, paying for transportation, housing, etc. But for her to kind of push the button a little bit further and say, I need you to send me money for my nails or hair is egregious. Because now you're kind of getting into a place where you're acting like a child and not necessarily someone that is going to be his future partner. Like you are basically trying to get him to give. That's like saying, oh, can you give me money to buy a hamburger for today or something? Like, can you send me money to go buy a brand new pair of shoes so when I get out there I can have some new pair of shoes when I meet you? Like, what are you talking about? Do you not have a job? Do you not like? And then it makes me think, okay, wait a minute. So is she doing this because, again, going with the second case here, assuming that she actually wants this relationship, is she doing this because this is something that she's used to? Like other men have done this. Other men will send her money to get her nails done or hair done. So she's expecting it. In fact, they've done this so much that she's learned to accept this, or expect it rather, thinking that this gentleman that she's not really known to well would also do the same thing, would also basically send her money to get her nails done, her hair done, everything did. Like what? Like what are we doing? What are we doing? So here's the truth. The truth is this. There's a lot of game goofy dudes out there, and there's a lot of literature, commentary, videos, whatever, of people illustrating, demonstrating a game goofy dude. And a game goofy dude is a dude or individual who really just, they kind of squander the relationship, something that is of value, but they squander it because they don't really know how to handle that. They don't really know what to do with it. They can't see the value in it. Therefore, they make decisions that inevitably undermine the relationship and, in effect, have torpedoed the projection of their life. Like they basically have, ruined things for their future, basically, in terms of being married. And this is a case, sort of a textbook case of a woman in this instance being game goofy. In other words, she overplayed her hand to the extent that it cost her a relationship. You see, this gentleman, I don't know this guy, but I'm assuming he's a good guy. So let's assume that he's a good individual. He's a good man that can one day become a great father, a great husband, a great provider. Notice what I just said. See, this individual that we're looking at, I don't know this guy, right? But he could one day become a great husband, a great father to your children, a great provider for your household. These are long-term identities that he will carry on to the rest of his life, and that you would enjoy if you were to be enjoined with him. But you undermine that through your request of money to get your nails or hair done, while also knowing that he's paying for your airfare, your transportation, your housing when you get there. But never mind all that. I need money for this little trinket here just because. See, this is game goofiness. And the thing that a lot of women have to and women know this already, so I'm just going to say it anyways, but women have to be very cognizant of their time and their youth in particular. So as we all know, and this is generally understood, women really peak and max out in terms of their market value, if you will, in the dating market. They peak when they're very young, like when they're in their 20s and maybe early 30s. You are at peak. You can really have your choice of litter. I think a lot of women, when they get to that stage, when they're in their peak era in terms of age, they tend to start to, again, be game goofy when it comes to men. They start to pick the wrong men, and they can afford to do so because they can kind of churn through men and, okay, well, this guy, or maybe I ask this guy for money. Okay, it doesn't work. Boom, let me go to the next guy. And you can kind of like burn all these bridges basically. And in hopes that, knowing that you can always get another guy, right? Because you're at your peak, you have high value relative to the marketplace, relative to the age mates of men in your same age bracket. You have more of an advantage. You have so much leverage as a young woman, right? But then over time, as you start to grow in age, that leverage starts to decrease. And the leverage of your male counterparts starts to increase dramatically because they are starting to, again, get further along their careers. They're starting to obtain more resources, more wealth, and they're more mature. So they become more attractive to, all the women that are in their age group and below, right? And maybe even some above. So as a woman that is growing in age, you have to be very cognizant of that. And you have to know when to time the when to cash out basically of your value in the marketplace. So when you see a good gentleman and you're a young woman, you see a great guy, he has a lot of potential, or he's even proving out his potential, you need to say to yourself, can I do, just practically speaking, can I do much better than this individual? Can this individual become a great husband, a father, a caretaker, a provider for my household? Start to think long term. And if the answer is yes, or likely yes, then entertain the relationship. Again, you can also go in prayer, which I also recommend. Pray to God, ask God, hey, is this the right guy for me? If he's not, get him up out of here. And let me tell you something about that, by the way. Out of all the prayer requests that I will say that God will answer like that, it is the prayer request of, God, is this the right woman or man for me? God will make that very clear very quickly. So going back to this woman demonstrated textbook example of just being game goofy. Just textbook game goofiness. You have a prime opportunity to meet a good gentleman, a guy that has potential. Again, he could be potentially a great father, husband, caretaker, provider for you and your household. But because you're not thinking long term and you're thinking short term because your value is high, you then result to being game goofy. You end up just being game goofy. You end up squandering because you're trying to max out of everything you can get out of every gentleman you run into. Instead of thinking about, wait, how do I max out in terms of, how do I maximize my overall value as a young woman and get the most that the marketplace can provide me in the way of marrying a man by selecting the right man the first time, so that when you select him, you can then be able to potentially cash out on a great husband, provider, caretaker, a great father for your household. That's what you should be thinking about. That's how you should women, you got to strategize. Think strategically when it comes to selecting a mate. Think strategically when it comes to saying yes or no to a gentleman that's asking you out or asking to fly you out. Or think strategically, please. I'm really urging women out there, because I know things get a little hard when you get older, and the men aren't choosing as much as they used to. They're not choosing up on you as much as they used to. I know that happens. So I'm urging you, when you're young, when you're still in your youth, choose wisely, max out wisely. Don't be game goofy. Don't be, oh, well, he's flying me out. He's demonstrating that he has the components, the capability to be a great father, a great husband, a great provider, by at the very least treating me like a lady, treating me respectfully, agreeing to fly me out, agreeing to pay for my flight, my housing, my transportation. He's showing that, he's demonstrating that, but instead you decide to torpedo the entire arrangement by asking for money to get your nails or hair done. And then if he don't do it, then whoop-de-woo. Well, anyways, sorry, bye. Boy, bye. Really? We're going to torpedo the relationship off of something like that? You see, again, you're not thinking strategically. You can torpedo a relationship on something like, okay, hey, do you believe in being faithful in marriage? And the guy says, no. Okay, boom, torpedo the relationship. Do you believe in, not abusing me? Well, the guy says, well, I don't believe in all that. I'm still going to abuse you. Okay, well, then torpedo the relationship, because it's not going to work. Okay, be smart about it. Do you believe in working hard and eating what you kill and going out there and bringing resources and wealth for the family? Do you believe in that? If the guy says no, torpedo the relationship. Do you believe in God? If the guy says no, torpedo the relationship. It's that simple. I need to do a whole series on relationships and marriage, because there is just so much game goofiness out there, bro. It's appalling. It's ridiculous. And I know I'm getting on the ladies now, but I'm really going to go in on men too. But This clip again was just, again, it kind of went viral, and I really wanted to touch on it because I just thought it was so egregious and outrageous. But anyways, leave feedback, comments in the comment thread. I'll read through them, but let me know what you all think, because this is crazy. Oh, the dating market is horrible.
I'm still